Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy Matty Ice Cold Crypto, man. Hope y'all all doing well and staying safe and staying healthy out here, man. Just wanted to do a quick video today, man, to talk about a few things, man. Been getting some questions about Bitcoin. My favorite subject. Asking about, man, why has Bitcoin been going up so much over the last few weeks, man? Is it too late to buy? I want to talk about what the Bitcoin halving is and how it affects Bitcoin and what I think. So I'm gonna get into this video. If you're watching on Instagram right now, you want to see the full video, man, watch it on IGTV. Also, man, go over to my YouTube channel, man, Ice Cold Crypto, man, and subscribe and follow. Like the videos, man. You can see the full videos over there too. Want to start putting out some more content, man, as we go into this, man, great year in Bitcoin, I believe, man. Just explaining some things about Bitcoin and showing y'all, man, how y'all can get involved in it. But man, let's get to it, man. Talk about what's going on with Bitcoin and why I believe it's a great time to buy and why I believe it's going up. So let's check it out. So in see right here, man, over the last 24 hours, man, Bitcoin is up over 7%. Man, we sitting at $9,927. It's done had a great month, man. Bitcoin has actually been the best performing asset of 2020, even with everything we got going on, man. Bitcoin has had a great year. It did take a dip back in March 12th, like when all of this stuff really hit the fan in the United States and all these lockdown orders came out, but it came back with a vengeance, man, and we up over $9,000, man. So let's take a look at it right quick, and then we're gonna talk about why it's doing what it's doing and where we going from here. So you look at Bitcoin right here. Let's go down. Again, if y'all not familiar with this, man, this is Coin Market Cap. Like to my new people, man, this is where you can go to see the prices of Bitcoin and other coins, other digital assets, man. They call them digital assets now. They have their own classification. No longer cryptocurrencies, because not all digital assets are currency. Some of them actually have utilities. They do different things, are used for different things. So get more into that later. But you can see right here, Bitcoin was it went down, and then you can see on March 12th, this kind of when everything hit the fan in the United States for real. But since then, man, it's been climbing through here. And one of the reasons why it's going up so much, y'all, is because of what's called the Bitcoin halving. So people talk about, like, well, what is the Bitcoin halving? Well, the Bitcoin halving is something that happens every 4 years in Bitcoin. It's actually when the supply of Bitcoin is cut in half. When I could say the supply, the amount of Bitcoin that's found on a daily basis is cut in half. So that means the amount of Bitcoin that's found on a yearly basis is cut in half through the process of called Bitcoin mining. And these miners mine for Bitcoin blocks. Not going to get into all of that, may get a little too technical, but the simple way to look at it is, let's just say everybody know like a gold mine, and people mine for gold. So let's just say, for instance, they were mining for gold and they had an average amount of gold that they knew that they found on a daily basis. So let's just say all of a sudden it was what's called a supply shock, and the amount of gold that they were used to finding got cut in half. They were finding half the amount of gold. What would probably happen to the price of gold? The price would go up because there's going to be less supply for the same amount of demand. And then it could be actually less supply for more demand. So I believe that's what's happening in Bitcoin. I believe people know that this Bitcoin halving is coming up. It happens every 4 years. There's a lot of big players in the market now that we didn't have before. The last time we saw a Bitcoin halving was back in 2016. When that happened, Bitcoin was when that happened, Bitcoin was around $600. So from $600 to over $20,000 in December of 2017. So from June of 2016 at $600 to December of 2017, it went from $600 to $20,000 during that last period. So about a little over a year, 6 months, it did that last time, and that was before we had everything that we have now. We have a lot more infrastructure. It has a lot more validity in the market, man. It was very speculative then. It still is, but you have think people like Fidelity. They have Fidelity Crypto Investments, crypto assets. You can Google it. You can see Fidelity has crypto on their site. It's not open to the average person. It's only open to accredited investors and larger firms and companies. It's on the NASDAQ. ICE, who owns the New York Stock Exchange, they're all dealing in Bitcoin. TD Ameritrade, you can buy it right on the Cash App. There's so many different ways to buy Bitcoin that I believe as it begins to run up this time after the halving, we may see even greater numbers. So that goes to the question, is it too soon to buy? Is it too late to buy? That's a question for you to answer. It's not financial advice, but what I do and what I tell people to do is the dollar cost average, because dollar cost averaging takes the emotion out of it. You buy a set amount weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, daily, whatever. You know, we usually buy every Friday on Cash App by a small amount. We've been doing that since September. So we've been buying all the way down and all the way back up. So if you do it like that, man, you're going to win. Because let's say, for instance, like right now, you FOMO win. That's called fear of missing out. You just put $1,000 in today. So at $1,000, you're going to get a little over point 1 Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin at $1,000. Not gonna get a whole Bitcoin, but you can get about 1/10 of a Bitcoin right now. And let's just say, for instance, tomorrow the price pulls back 30%. You're gonna lose 30% of that $1,000 value. You'll still have the same amount of Bitcoin, that 0.1 Bitcoin, but the value of it has gone down because the price has slipped, you know, according to the US dollar. So you may have some emotions about that. But when you dollar cost average, it works out better, because I believe the price of Bitcoin fluctuates. So it's always great to dollar cost average. But is it too late to buy right now? Not financial advice, but let's look at the chart and let's see where it's going. So I don't really trade. I used to do some slight trading, but you can look at this chart here. These some support and resistance lines that I actually marked over a year ago, but you can still see, man, it's bouncing off of some of these support lines, because again, history usually repeats itself. You can look at some of the technicals to kind of get a gauge on where it's going, but you never know. So the last resistance that we had right here was around 9,800, and we blew through that. So right now we've been trading above there for a few hours. It could come back down, but I don't see the next resistance until about 10,600. So with that being said, we do have a lot of room for a few more points of it going up. So you could buy here and it could go up, or you could buy here and it could go down. That's why I don't trade. That's why I dollar cost average. But I believe we're going to go up and maybe hit this 10,000 point before we reach the halving. The halving is coming up in about 3 days. It's probably gonna be about May the 11th when it hits that block number where Bitcoin is mined. And once it hits that block number, the next block there will be less Bitcoin coming onto the network. So that'll be coming up in the next 3 days or so. So with that being said, I hope that helped a little bit, telling y'all why Bitcoin is going up. Is the Bitcoin halving. People are accumulating Bitcoin right now. It's maybe a little bit of buy the rumor, sell the news. So once the halving actually happens, I believe the price will pull back. So be on the lookout for that. But man, grab some Bitcoin tomorrow on that Bitcoin Friday. Man, follow and subscribe over at my page at Ice Cold Crypto, and I look forward to, man, putting out some more videos, man, talking about Bitcoin and the crypto space, man, in this 2020. But again, man, it's your boy Matty Ice Cold Crypto, and I'm out.